Boys, girls, and children of all ages, it is Throwback Week here in the SFL.
Check it out!
And the man sporting, check it out, Steve Brule this week. Shame on you, Noah Douglas. What a week it was by Extremely Explicit as we review Week 8. That is insane. We're 8 weeks in.
Crazy.
Joined by the commissioner.
Great to be here, man. Let's get this started.
Game of the week, the 5-2 Suburban Icon against the 2-5 Weeki team, which seemed like Weeki was the favorite throughout. Devontae Adams, absolutely huge and crucial again for Weeki, but it came down to the big boy. When you have a player score 48% of your fantasy points, you know you're going to have either a bad week or a very good week, and 46 from Dalvin Cook. What a performance by Cook.
I mean, Nate should have won this game. He had a much better roster this week. I mean, his kicker beat two of Suburban's players, and Dalvin just said no.
And more injuries. Kenny Golladay down with an injury in this one. That really helped Suburban Icon get to 6-2 and the number 1 seed in the SFL. 96-87. What a performance by DC Chillin. Up next, we got the Boss Hog against the Dosido. What a performance by the Dosido. Hot out of the gate. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce were dominant in this one over Clyde. Russell Wilson, 28. Tom Brady, 19. That's the battle I thought that would be crucial in this one, but it was Russell Wilson. 112-77, and Boss Hog is in trouble. As we look at the matchup between the Red Kingdom and the Black and Silver, and Extremely Explicit. And what a great start that Extremely Explicit got off to between Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes had a few rough games in there, and he just exploded.
He just took off. DK Metcalf, an MVP candidate, which we were going to go over in a little bit. 36 points from Mahomes, 28 from Metcalf, and that did it for Extremely Explicit. 121-67. What a great bounce back week for Extremely Explicit. As we look at the standings, after Week 8, Extremely Explicit holds firm in Division Ika as Clay and Suburban Icon can clinch this week with a win with Polyester Dynamo, and that would be a hell of a story. This is going to be a tough battle here for the 4 seed, though. Alabama Dosido, Devil Dogs play this week in Week 9. Weeki right behind, but watch out for Boss Hog because they're right in the mix. As we look at the G League standings, we haven't looked at the G League standings in a little while, but it does stand firm. Texas Toast at number 1 at 9-13. And there are your standings. We're going to leave them all on one screen here. Which team surprised you the most on here, Cliff?
That's tough to say. I mean, Texas Toast at number 1, but obviously we've known that for a few weeks. Yeah, 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
They are getting killed by injuries. So they have Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham, Kenny Golladay just got hurt. They are struggling, and Nick Chubb as well. They are struggling. With Zach Ertz, they have so many injuries.
In a year like this with so many injuries, G League was going to be really tough to stand by.
But Texas Toast has stayed healthy and is in the lead. And now we look to our news segment, the top 10 MVP candidates through 8 weeks. As we start with number 10, I think this one could be higher, but unfortunately he got hurt. We got Calvin Ridley here at number 10. What a great start he got off to. Extremely Explicit. Number 9, we got Devontae Adams. This one's a little bit of a shocker, especially ahead of Ridley. But this guy is absolutely dominant. If Weeki makes the playoffs and he holds the pace that he's on right now, this guy is an absolute legend in Weeki terms. Number 8, we got Big Dick DK Metcalf. What a great season he's having. He's known for that chase down tackle, but he's not known for his fantasy points. He's leading receivers right now. Number 7, we got Russell Wilson. Honestly, I think he could be lower. He's 1-3 so far this year. Alex is still 3-5 in the playoff mix, but Russell Wilson has not been his MVP.
He's averaging extreme points, 28, I believe, but just not the win.
We got Patrick Mahomes here at number 7. Honestly, he could be higher, but he's just not like the face that we've seen Extremely Explicit. We really haven't seen that powerful performance from Mahomes. This one's going to come to a shock from you guys. Tight end, Travis Kelce at number 5. If you look at everyone's going to be like, oh, this is not a good one. He has 35 more points than any other tight end, is averaging 4 more points per game than any other tight end. This guy is outperforming every tight end in the league. He's been the MVP for Alabama Dosido, in my opinion. Number 4, we got K1, Kyler Murray. He is the quarterback breakout of 2020. We saw Patrick Mahomes in 2018, Lamar in 2019. This year's going to be Kyler Murray in 2020. Number 3, we got Derrick Henry. He's been strong this year, just like what you expect. And I'm getting a little bit of a reaction here from the commission. What do you think about Derrick? at number 3.
He's a good running back. He needs 50 carries to get the job done, but he's been doing good for Boss Hog, I guess.
He's 5-3 on the year. He's still doing well.
I'd put DK Metcalf and Calvin Ridley and Devonta Adams ahead of him. Maybe even Kelsey, but I got to respect him. He's a moose.
Wow. So we're between 2. Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara here. Alvin Kamara, whatever you want to say. But I got Kamara here at number 2. I mean, he's been strong all year, but he's struggled. He hasn't gotten the end zone the last couple of weeks, but he's going to get going late here in the year. But we have the best player on the best team here at number 1, and that is Dalvin Cook, running back for Suburban Icon. He just had a huge week. He had his breakout performance, and he sits on top of the rankings and the MVP. Thank you guys for joining us here. We got the play of the week coming up, sponsored by Bud Light. And we are back here after some breaking news in the SOFL, the first 4-way trade in the history, and we are joined by a team that was part of that trade, Noah Douglas. How you doing, Noah?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back on the show.
So, the breaking news, the 4-way trade, the impact for your team, you netted Justin Jefferson and $4 but you trade away Mike Evans, your 4th-round pick. How do you feel about that trade?
Yeah, I mean, Mike was underperforming, and they just signed Antonio Brown, so I was worried a little bit, but I got a new addition, so let's hope he does well.
So, how do you feel Justin Jefferson's going to fit into your roster that you have right now with your receiving core?
I think he's only going to play 2 weeks because hopefully DK and Calvin Ridley will still go off, but, he's a good security blanket.
But obviously you've been struggling. You lost 2 straight games, but you got a huge win against the Devil Dogs in a divisional opponent. How does it feel to get the win over the Dogs?
It was a good win. I wouldn't mind if I lost that game, but, I won convincingly, so I'll take it.
And so this is the throwback week, and you are bringing back Stephen Brule, Dr. Stephen Brule, for Shame on You. How do you feel about Shame on You, and is there potential for it to come back as a franchise?
It's a fun little throwback for one of my old teams, one of my favorite teams. I don't think we're going to be bringing them back, but, you never know.
And Extremely Explicit is currently your franchise. Do you expect to continue with Extremely Explicit throughout the next couple of years?
Yeah, it's going to be an ongoing franchise for at least the next few years.
And you have a huge one here in Throwback Week against Milk and Cheese. You played him in the 2016 Herb Cup, if you didn't know that, with Shame on You. How's it feel to go against Milk and Cheese this week?
Yeah, I think that was such a mismatch. We didn't even play the game. But, this week I kind of want Nate to win. But it's looking like he will right now.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Up next, we got the predicts for Week 9 and Throwback Week. And we are back for the last segment here, and Badger Speaks. We got Badger Predicts. So far, I am 15-9 on the year. Had a bad Week 7 performance, but got back in track in Week 8. And let's get it started here with the game of the week and the team that we are all looking at here this week. Polyester Dynamo at the Killer Gorillas. Both teams could be potential franchises down the road. Dynamo 9.5-point favorites. Dynamo has the advantage, in my opinion, all across the board. But the Killer Gorillas have showed up and showed out in games where they needed to win. And they are 2-0 against Clay this year. But Polyester Dynamo, 123-96. I can't pick a bet against this goddamn team. They're too freaking good. They're just too good, and I can't do it. Up next, Milk and Cheese versus Shame on You. And if you guys can remember, 2016 Herb Cup, this was the matchup. Milk and Cheese won that game. I don't really know the score. We don't even know the players. Shame on You, 3.5-point favorites. But Milk and Cheese has a studly roster this week, and they should be relatively healthy. And I do have Milk and Cheese with their breakout game of the year, 125-101. If that one turns south for me, what are you going to do? Because I'm going to pick Milk and Cheese to win this one. Up next, the Imaginary Fighters and the Cheddar Dogs. Imaginary Fighters won last year in their throwback game debut. The Cheddar Dogs in the throwback game now for the 3rd straight year because he didn't set his team's lineup. But this is going to be a tough one. Look at the quarterback battle here. Russell Wilson at Buffalo versus Deshaun Watson at Jacksonville. In my opinion, whoever wins that quarterback battle will take this matchup. And yes, I am going to pick the Imaginary Fighters to win this one. 113-99 over the Dogs, taking the advantage of the 4th seed in this one. Thank you guys for joining us here in Throwback Week. Good luck to all the great franchises that we've seen in this league. And we'll see you guys coming down the road for the playoffs.